What up, guys? Welcome to episode 77 of Fresh Off the Mats. Here with the Jiu-Jitsu Joes.
Look how massive he is.
Shut the fuck up. I only had a tank top in my bag.
See it? You want to show you guys. Flex on him, Joe. Do it, Joe. Flex on him. Yeah! Look at that motherfucker. He's a gorilla. What is it? An old school beach thing? I think, yeah, you showed it to me. We just like the protein shake one with all the muscle guys.
Oh, where they're like, I like protein. You like protein?
Yeah. Protein.
Oh my god, that video was great.
This
I think we played that on the show, right?
did,
Like one of the first episodes.
Yeah, it's one of the first few.
Yeah, and then we realized we could get copyrighted for showing.
I don't think that one did it?
No, it was the Naruto when we played the scene of broccoli.
Oh my god, that's right.
Yeah, that's what got us.
And then another one when we did the
When the
background of the
background of the
astronaut. Bro, the copyright thing is so weird. Like it's
That's so crazy that they have a program that could detect
when something
imagery
else is within it, yeah.
that is very odd. And somebody was telling me that like one of the popular things to do with TikToks to get people involved. Dude, TikTok is such a weird app. Like the things you get copyrighted for are so odd sometimes. Like just weird shit. So like on TikTok, people will post like videos and they'll split screen it where like someone's playing like Minecraft or a video game underneath. How is that not copyright shit?
Because you're just playing the game.
But you're still using imagery from the game. It's not copyrighted for the game. All we did was post a video with the astronaut floating in the ocean, and that got copyrighted. And a big thing like, what do you call it, Minecraft? That doesn't get copyrighted?
It's the same thing like when people do like the UFC fights and they'll play UFC. They put themselves with controllers and they act like they're playing UFC. That's how they'll like get away with live streaming it. So I'm assuming, yeah. So it might be something to do with you playing a game. Like since you own the game at that point, we don't own the video. You bought the game, so you can. It's just like streamers. Yeah. Streamers are able to make money off of playing a video game because they show themselves.
That's true.
So I'm assuming it's because you bought the game. You might have like some type of ownership to it, to where they allow you to monetize it in some way. Versus us, we were just recording, and then we use someone else's video.
I got a strike on TikTok for using my own video, like one of my own split screen videos of me opening up a pack of cards.
You got copyrighted on your own shit.
And using music that TikTok suggested to put to the video. And I was like, you copyrighted me for the suggestion your app gave me? Like the app said when I put the video in, add music layer to it. So I was like, oh, okay. And it gives you the options. And I picked one song and I added it to it. And then like an hour later it said, your video was, you got a strike or some shit for copyright infringement. I'm like, you gave me the tools. Like,
you told me to do it.
You told me to do it on your app.
That's like when I've gotten some from Instagram where the music I use in the reel, like when it gives you suggestions as well, I'll do the same thing. And it's just like your music video your video cannot be played in Russia. One, I don't give a shit if it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't care.
But it's just like they'll silence it. And it's just like, and then it'll give me.
I'm surprised they're even being played in Russia.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're even allowed to do any of that shit.
Yeah.
The best is when you get a strike on Instagram and they're like, this video won't be played in like India, Uganda, like all these weird countries. I'm like,
good.
What the fuck?
That's where the bots come from anyway. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Thank you. Restrict my video over there. I don't need all that.
You know what's the coolest thing I came across on TikTok? Because like I'm new to TikTok. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm very new to it. Maybe like 2-3 months. I went down a rabbit hole. This guy, he's a hacker, but he's like a good hacker. So like when people are getting called with like those scams,
you'll find their location
and he blows them up.
Dude.
Bro, this lady was about to get scammed for like $30,000 by one of those Indian call centers, and he intercepts the call.
And then he'll get like their camera.
He gets their location and their camera feed. He's like, your name is not fucking weird. Yeah, it's like your name is not Billy. I don't think there's any Billys in India, but your name is not Billy Bob. There's no Billy Bobs in India either. Your name's not BB.
There we go. That's even better, Joe.
Yeah,
good.
I don't know. Whatever.
Fucking racism. Fucking hell.
What? I don't know what a common name. Patel? They'll be like, your name's not Patel. You're not wearing a blue checkered shirt. And like, they'll be like, what the fuck? How is he doing this? Dude, that's a good hacker.
That video is funny.
The United States government needs to hire that guy to train a bunch of guys so that way they could intercept all these calls.
I like it when they do the video game ones. Have you seen those? So like people can get tracked off your IP address, right? So like when
Yeah.
you're online, you can get tracked by the IP address,
Yeah.
and so there'll be like the guys who talk shit online, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you want to keep talking shit?" And then they'll say their address, and you'll hear the.
Wait
Bro,
a minute. How you tell me like if you're playing Xbox Online, somebody could pull my IP address off my thing? That's scary.
That's why like VPNs and stuff are a thing. But if you have VPN, you're gonna have shitty online service because you're
Bouncing it.
Yeah, you're bouncing it. So it's
Yeah,
not
but
protected.
isn't that kind of scary because like for kids, like when kids are playing online, that somebody could just
That's why
pull
you
up
should
a
be
kid's
aware of what your
address?
kids are doing. Who
Yeah,
they're
but-
talking to. Who they're
No,
playing
I
with.
understand, but when you play like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you play any or Minecraft. What's the other?
Yeah.
What's not Minecraft? What's the other shooter game that kids play? Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Isn't that kind of scary that people could just pull up a kid's address?
Yeah. I'm not saying it's not scary, but
I feel like that shouldn't be allowed. They shouldn't allow people to be able to pull the address.
you're
It
able to
should go from your house to wherever Fortnite's server is, and
These
in case it should always get
it's not
pinged back to
illegal to
Fortnite.
hack into people's stuff.
Huh?
It is illegal to hack into people's stuff.
Yeah, but you open this up to predators who are also hackers that could just
Yeah.
fuck up kids.
That's the dangerous part, dude. It's a scary world that a lot of people have capabilities.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Dude,
I didn't know they could pull your address off playing games online.
yeah,
like
because
Xbox
your
and
IP
shit.
address is located into your home.
Dude, to protect players, what they should do is like if you're playing Xbox, when you play online, your information should go to Xbox, and if a hacker tries to look up your address, it should go right to Xbox's address.
That'd be dope if they did do something. I don't
To
know.
avoid as a layer of protection for the player, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if that would. I mean, maybe that could be possible. I don't know. I'm not into
That's
tech stuff
scary,
that much,
dude.
so
That's
I don't know if
scary.
that would be possible.
Bro,
Yeah.
little kids play Fortnite online, and you're telling me some predator could just go into
That's also why
Fortnite?
like a lot of parents they don't like want their kids mic'd up. Some parents let it happen. Some parents don't.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you just don't let them get mic'd up because then you don't know if it's actually a kid or
A
not.
kid or
Yeah.
not. Yeah, that's true.
So if,
Yeah,
you don't,
never-
if you don't mic them up, then no one's gonna know if it's a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, you might tell just from the way they're playing, but even now, have you seen that one? It's a parent and a 5-year-old, and the 5-year-old dude is just dead shot on everything, bro. Like this kid is good at video games,
Yeah.
and to the point where people say like, "Oh, the dad's playing for him." So now the dad streams his hands live while he's also like showing himself. And then they have to they show their background. And now obviously there's nothing else that like gives information, but then there's the kid playing. And the kid also has his hands shown. So it shows that the dad's not playing, the dad's just kind of there to be with the kid. Also make sure that no one's saying shit to the kid and all, but the kid's out there just fucking things up.
I get it's like their gimmick or whatever, but think about the investment to like buy a camera for your hand, buy a camera for your kids'
How
hands,
much money?
buy a camera for both
Think
of you
about all
guys.
the money that they're pulling in. From
Yeah, I
selling
mean, if
it.
they're a famous streamer, then
No,
it
they
makes,
are.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no, like,
then it
they're
makes sense.
getting thousands.
The
of
thing
streams,
about like
yeah.
I would never do that for like if the boys were playing a game.
Yeah,
I'd
no,
be
no,
like,
no.
I'm buying a camera for all our hands so people know it's
No.
you playing and not
Yeah,
me.
this is it started off like more
That's
people
funny.
started commenting, but yeah, this kid like because at first I saw it and I was like, this kid can't.
I would
be that
never
good.
buy
And
the
he's just
boys
bang,
like-
boom, 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 and I was like, how is he just doing this? And then there's one I saw, is an old lady, like
I saw the old lady with
She's like-
glasses,
she's like
like, a
77,
grandma,
yeah, she's like
and she's
77.
playing video games.
bro,
Yeah.
she's a killer, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. And she's just like, and she has to use a certain, like she can't use a controller, I think she said, because of the arthritis in her hands. So she has to use the keyboard, and that's the only reason why is because the
It makes
arthritis in
sense. Yeah, because if you've always spent years typing like this,
Yeah.
and then I have to
there. When
turn
you
them
when you
in.
turn them, that's what's
It's
going to kill
different.
it. But that's so funny to me, and that's how like the people on there. She was saying one of them were talking shit like, "Oh, that's why you're on PC." She was like, "Well, I have to because of arthritis." And they were like, "How fucking old are you?" And they were just like, just dissing on her. And she's like, I'm pretty old. I'm up there." They're like, "You can't be that old. Are you in your 30s?" And she was like, "I wish." It was just a funny video because they're just trying to roast her, and she's just accepting it. And then one of the guys like finally like put two and two together because she's a famous streamer. Like she gets a shit ton of people watching her. But he was like, "Wait, hold up. Are you this lady?" He was like, "On TikTok. Are you her?" She was just like, at first she denied it, and then at the end because he kept hitting it, and he was just like naming these certain things that she was doing that are like big on her stream apparently. And he was like, "No, this is you. I know it's you." And then finally at the end, she was like, "Yeah, you got it right on the money the first time. Like, yeah, you're pretty good at this." So
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Hey, listen, that's a good niche, like, because dude, think about how many video game streamers. There's gotta be millions of people doing video game streaming, and I'm sure not all of them are popular. There's only like maybe the 1% that are popular and make it, because you got to be good. You also have to be camera like. People don't realize that you can't just be good at video games. No. You need other things. You have to have good mic skills. You got to be able to talk clearly. You got to be able to be presentable. Yeah. Like you could have good mic skills. You could be good at video games, but you could look like a fucking gross troll, and people aren't gonna want to watch it. Look at streamers.
They like take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Like they're not, and they make, and it's not just like them. Look at the backgrounds. Like they set up their room,
bro. And this is the one area where, you know how women are always like, oh, men always have it easier in the workplace. Streamers, if you're a female streamer,
you just jump on.
You just get popular. You could be shitty at video games.
You could be
trash at video games. But you wear a nice low top, like.
The motherfucker comes right here.
Yeah.
You do this shit right here.
Guys will watch you and they'll be like, oh.
And then put the headphones with the motherfucking cat ears. They all look the fucking same.
Put some neon shit behind you, LED lights. Yeah.
All the female streamers look the fucking same.
They all look the same, and they're all popular.
Every
because
single one of them.
The thing is, the type of guys that watch that shit, they're like the guys who are like, I'll be the one to like be her man.
I'll
donate
like,
100
stars or something, and they're gonna get the attention, bro. But also,
wait, how does that work? With Twitch is the most popular one to stream on
right now. I think Twitch is still. Yeah, I think Twitch.
What's
is still,
the other ones?
I forget what it's called.
But Twitch is like the big one, right?
Twitch is
so how does that work? Like, if you watch a streamer, you have to pay them. Like, you pay.
You can. So it's like donations.
So you can watch for free?
Yeah.
And then they get, obviously, the more people watch, they get ads.
Yeah, so they'll get ad revenue, and then it's just like kind of how like YouTube works, or like TikTok even. If per million views or something, or like a certain numbers will get you like...
Twitch will pay them?
Yeah, Twitch will also pay them, but it's like through ad revenue and also how many people you have watching, and then it's all on a continuous basis, so you're not going to get it if you just got one that went up, and then no one ever watches again. So it's like continuous.
It's not about having a 10 million view video. It's about having consistently 2
consistently
million.
Like you're hitting, and it's not even that high, because I know like there's a guy I follow, Stone Mountain, but these guys, and this is also like when people see it, it blows me away when they're just like, oh, this guy just plays video games. Like one, just like you said, it takes a lot of skills behind it. One, the editing. Most of these guys edit themselves until they become really famous, and then they'll hire like a crew. Yeah, but they edit still. So you got to go on TikTok.
I thought it's live streaming.
It is when they're gaming.
Yeah.
But how do you think they're also getting people? They got to make the TikTok shorts.
Oh, like they make shorts and shit.
Yeah, they're going on Instagram. They're going on YouTube.
Dude, let me tell you.
So you have to do all that, and then
just
on top
editing the show, the podcast shorts, and I only do 2 shorts a week. I do a preview short before the episode, and then I do a post for after the episode to get people to go to the episode. And I just do 2. And let me tell you, man, sometimes those shorts take me like 40 minutes to do and shit, because you got to cut and you got to chop and condense it down to a minute.
Because that's all we go for 25, 30 minutes, sometimes a little over. These guys are streaming, and that's also the thing. They're not streaming for like 1 hour a day.
But they probably have a system where like they know if like, let's say they just did something cool, there's got to be like a thing where they hit a button and that when they go to edit, it says, hey, at this minute marker,
then highlighted what they'll probably do is like screen.
Because they're not going to watch 4 hours of their stream to look for the moment.
Like screen grab. You can do a quick screen grab. So like I know on Xbox, if you do like a quick tap, you can set it to where it's like, the last 5 minutes.
Shots.
Yeah, and it'll record the last 5 minutes of what just happened.
Oh,
so you can do it yourself and then have it stored, and then you can go back and edit that.
That's cool.
So you can do shit like that, so you can always go back. But it's again, like it's just funny to me when people are like, oh, that's not a real job. Like, dude, the amount of skill going in,
content, because this falls under the umbrella of content creation.
It's hard, and people like, and it's funny to me when people say that. I'm like, go make content. They're like, oh, I can just go take a picture and watch how hard it is to get that one picture to get millions of views.
I do a magic video every day.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, these are 1 minute long videos. And the bullshit that like the editing and this, and God forbid your fucking app crashes and stuff.
Oh,
dude.
Dude,
and then like,
or your whole caption out of nowhere just disappears. And you're like,
or you're about to post on Instagram, and the second you go to hit post, somebody DMs you on Instagram, and it takes you out of the editing process. Let me tell you, you motherfucker, so many times I've cursed your name at my phone because I'll be right about to post. I'll be right about to post something, and it'll be like, Joseph Gaudioso DM'd you, and I'll click it, and it takes everything I just worked on for the last 20 minutes, And I'm like, this motherfucker. That's why I'm a big proponent of copy and pasting captions very often. So like, as soon as I type something out, I copy and paste it as well.
The second I do it, I now copy it all, and I'll just have it, or I'll open up like my texting. I'll paste.
I go
it
to
in
notes.
text.
Like
or
everybody
notes,
thinks I type out all those hashtags because Instagram only allows 30 hashtags. People think that I write them out every time. I'm like, dude, no, I have a notes section, and I have my magic hashtag that I put over.
I have a K9 section. I have my fitness section. I have a jiu-jitsu one, and then
the jiu-jitsu one is the same as my gym one. I keep my jiu-jitsu one and my gym one is the same.
I have like similar ones.
Magic
So
one is
I'll do
different,
like 10 to 15
and
similar,
then
and
fresh off the
15
mat is
specific.
different.
Yeah, I make.
And then the gym's, the actual gym's Instagram has a separate one as well.
So it's
But then, bro, somebody told me that like you shouldn't do more than 5 or 6 hashtags. That they've changed.
I'm seeing like a mix on like social media coaches saying things on it. So some are saying the hashtag thing still matters, so still use a bunch, and then I see others saying use like.
But hashtags are just folders. If you think about them, isn't a hashtag just a folder that the video goes into?
The algorithm might see you as like a spam, so they might see you just spamming.
Yeah, but whenever I click on the hashtag, I see what I posted in the hashtag. Yeah.
But it's just, it might be just seen as spam. So, or some of them will, if they get overloaded, then you'll get shadow banned. So it's like you're not actually banned, you're not doing anything wrong.
Why?
But they're gonna lower your stuff.
So complicated.
And so that's why, bro. That's why, again, when people are like, "Oh, social media is not a real job," like, dude, people who run that shit professionally, like they have to stay up to date. They understand the algorithm. They follow trends, and like. It's just like in fashion when people try to make fun of fashion. Like, bro, do you understand how hard it is to keep up to date with the new stuff? Dude. Like,
a Magic the Gathering related thing reached out to me and was like, hey, we want to send you like some products and we want you to like do a video rare. So I was like, oh, okay. And they sent me like some guidelines, like keep it under a minute, post it between this time and this time. For some reason they go off California, so they said post it between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. California time.
They're probably going to share it, and if that's their peak time when people know that they post, that's going to be their biggest
And then
time.
they said don't use any more than 5 hashtags. And then I just, because I don't know, I just asked. I was like, hey, why only use 5 when we're allowed to use 30? And they said they're like, oh, it helps it, I guess, go higher in the hashtags. So.
Recently, I've noticed that too, and I've noticed the people that I follow have only been using minimal. Yeah. So that's why, if you look at mine, I've been doing the same. I've been going anywhere for like.
Go on my Instagram real quick. So I started playing with this since I found out, and on certain. So I've been testing it on my Magic videos. So like, if you go. This one, if you look at the caption, I only use like 5 hashtags, and then the one before it, I use multiple ones. Like I use like the whole grouping of it, and see if there's a difference.
It's about the same right now.
No, go by the views. Don't go by the likes. Go back. Just go back to my reels. Just the back button. Now go see if there's a difference.
318, 372.
See, like, is it really that big of a difference?
That's what I'm saying.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, like,
so
I don't know if like
I
this
haven't
little
really
tweak
seen
is.
it, but it's like.
I'm trying to be optimal. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be optimal with it, but I don't understand. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I don't know why you gotta be so complicated, Instagram. Just put in the folders. Fuck the algorithm. It should go by if people like it or not.
That's what.
You shouldn't push things to the top just because of XYZ. It should just go into the folder of the hashtag.
It's also like having to keep up with like real audios and stuff like that. Like, I've seen one coach that was just like, yo, just post the same thing over and over. And I was like, that sounds horrible.
I've seen pages where like they post the same fitness video like for a week straight.
Yeah,
and it's just hoping for one to pop.
And they'll post it at different times. Yeah, because all at different times, a different time zone.
Or you think they're testing when to find out.
That's also what they're doing. They are functioning it off of what's going to be the most optimal during that week. And then they'll find it and be like, all right, cool. And then what they're also doing is seeing
then Instagram will just switch it up on you.
That's why it's so fucking complicated, bro.
I think just being consistent. I think if you just stay consistent, you find your audience over time. Always, if you post, like my fitness post is usually around like, after we're done here, 1:30 or whatever. Then my Magic post is around like 5:30. I think if you just stay consistent over time, you're gonna find your audience. I think when you try to trick the algorithm, like you drive yourself crazy. I think you spend more time than you should because now you have to make more reels and do it over. I think, bro, just
and that's why it's like I think it is better doing it that way because not only again
you save your own sanity.
You're
this
also
is why people get obsessed with
this shit. It's organic.
Yeah.
It's like when it's organic, it comes natural. When it's natural, you make better quality videos. I think personally, because like you've seen videos where you look at it, you're like, yeah, this is set up.
Yeah.
Like this is set up. This is like that. Like,
bro, I saw a video that went viral on TikTok where a girl drinks her coffee and makes a video that there was a mouse in the bottom of it, and like she's showing the cup and there's a dead mouse at the bottom of the coffee, but it doesn't show her drinking it, and it's like a part of me wants to be like, oh shit, it should go viral if this is real, but then a part of me is like, bro, people try to do the craziest shit to get the most, so like, what's to stop this person from putting it and be like, look, I drank this coffee and there was
a dead mouse at a pet store.
That's what I'm saying. It's like nowadays the internet, it's gotten so hard to judge what is organically made and what is like shady made. Like, you ever seen bad acting where they're like, look at this injustice, and it's clearly like the worst acting you've ever seen. It's like, this is not real.
Yeah, it's just I
don't know. There was one with like a mom arguing with like a trans person going into the bathroom after her daughter just went in, but the acting is just so weird. I don't know, like the dialogue is not how people speak.
It's not natural.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is not real. But in the comments, people are like, I can't believe this. And I'm like, you guys are falling for this? This looks like the worst acting in life.
Some things that are set up, like to just grab attention. Bro, I just saw this guy, and the first, like, obviously following a bunch of jiu-jitsu stuff. The thing I saw on his page that popped up was him saying why jiu-jitsu is not effective in, I think, MMA, he said. And, in the street. In the street. Outside of the cage, he said jiu-jitsu is not effective. So he does this whole thing, and then he's like, read the caption below. He's going off saying how, like, the friends, no fight should go to the ground, blah, 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 all that. And I was like, okay, one, let me click your profile. 500 followers. Just guess what the rest of his page was. Why Muay Thai is not effective in the street.
Yeah.
Why boxing is not effective.
It's just clickbait.
It's clickbait, getting you to look
in
in it, and then you see all the views and the jiu-jitsu one, because jiu-jitsu...
So if none of these martial arts are effective, just don't do anything.
Guys, and what's funny to me, he kept defending boxing. He was saying how boxing is the best thing ever because you can slip and move and all that. But then his argument...
What if the guy kicks you?
So that's what he said.
What if the guy kicks you?
He's like, kicking's not effective.
What if the guy gets in close like this? Now how are you going to create momentum and
boxing's better. And so, but even
that, bro, here's the thing.
Even at that point, his baseline argument for it all is like, what if his friends come through? What if they have a gun? I'm like, you think any martial arts effective?
No.
You think your boxing's going to save you from a knife?
I said it the other day when we were all talking at the end of class. I don't know if you were here or not. I said at the end of the day, I was like, bro, there's no tough guys. Like, it doesn't matter if you're the best jiu-jitsu guy. It doesn't matter if it's Gordon Ryan. If someone's 20 feet away and shoots a shotgun at him, he's dead. Doesn't matter how amazing you are.
Look what Fabio said the other day when he was talking
Guns
about like in the bar.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, clean up all the glass bottles, not because it's my job to clean the bottles, but because if I have to stop a fight, I'm not going to get hit in the head. And it's like, that's the common sense.
I think what jiu-jitsu does...
Jiu-jitsu doesn't work, but it makes you aware.
But I think what jiu-jitsu does and what martial arts does is it preps you for the contact to happen, and it preps... I don't know if this is the right word, but the adrenal system to not go into like, oh, what the fuck is happening in the moment? So to stay cool, calm, and collect that, oh, this is getting out of hand. We're about to strap. When you roll, think back, if you can, to the first day you did jiu-jitsu and you rolled. Your adrenaline was through the roof. Everything was a panic. Excuse me. Fuck. Everything was a panic. Everything was crazy all at once. It was chaotic. And you probably don't even remember what you did in that very first roll because you're going so nuts. Now fast forward to today where you're more calm. Oh, I could roll.
Bro, that's how I close my eyes at a roll.
Yeah, it's just but like this preps you for fights in the real world that, oh, if this guy grabs me, if I have zero training, I'm going to freak out and flail and do this. As opposed to staying cool, calm, and collect where if someone grabs me, I know what to do. Yeah. And I'm not, my adrenaline probably won't spike that high.
And that's the real goal. And that's what I try to tell people. Like, even when
to be comfortable in
like
shitty situations.
He did, what is it, karate, right? People will shit on karate all the time. It's not effective in a real street fight. One, you see how quick his kick is. That's why I laugh at someone who says that, because I'm like, the kicks are effective. Because one, most people are prepped for hands. They're not ready for it, especially his little question mark kick that he does. Dude, no one's ready for that. No random person on the street's ready for a leg to come up and then swipe down on you real fast. You're not prepped. But also, it's that aspect that even if his martial art's not the most effective in a street fight. Which, if you look at most street fights, it's people swinging wild. I don't understand why everyone thinks a street fight's the most like coordinated effect.
No, it's not the
like,
UFC.
You literally step to the side a lot, and like the second you start moving, they're gonna fall. They're gonna swing. What most of them do, they try to grab or they swing wildly. Even if you meet a guy who's good, who has good hands, and he's swinging, most of the time you cover yourself up enough and you give him one good uppercut. Like, dude, like.
If you just the kicks, I think are super effective, and I like stomp kicks for real situations.
The check kick, dude.
So like,
where you kick
a lot of times you make them flinch up top, where they put their hands up like this, and they're so focused up here, and then you stomp kick at the knees. That's what I like to do. I always stomp
legal,
kick.
isn't it? It's like legal in the UFC, or
yeah,
like,
it's legal.
But people are like, people are like, that shouldn't be legal.
You stomp the knee and buckle it backwards. In a street fight scenario, this is super effective because, like you said, most people are so focused up here on the hands. So you distract them up here as soon as you stomp kick right in the knee.
And that's also the funny part. When you hear street fights, the second someone does kick, they're like, oh, he doesn't have hands, he has to kick. I'm like, it's a street fight.
It's a street fight.
But that's what's always funny to me, is people will shit on martial arts saying it won't work. But the second they do something that's not dealing with throwing hands, they're like, oh, that's not fair. Like, what do you mean it's not fair? It's a street fight, I thought they could do everything.
I've only punched somebody when I was working security one time, and that was the guy who was biting my arm, so I had no choice to. I always threw elbows, grapple. Bro, because elbows are so much stronger and so much tougher. The chances of you breaking your elbow versus breaking your hands are bullshit, bro. It doesn't matter how big your hands are. Bro, knuckles are bullshit. There's too many little bones.
And that's also the big thing. Like, these other martial arts, they teach palm striking. People don't understand that palm strike is a very effective method to hit someone.
You hit somebody with this solid piece, you cut people open.
Or that one video, I love it still to this day, that Fabio was slapping the shit out of that one dude that tried to fight him. And then when he slapped him, and then the guy, what made me laugh is when the guy tried to kick him. And then that's when I saw, like, you see Fabio's like, when people say jiu-jitsu doesn't work, the fact that Fabio passes guard by pushing his legs to the side, knee on belly, blocks the hand, and then just continues slapping him. Bro,
but that's jiu-jitsu.
But it was all jiu-jitsu.
But that's jiu-jitsu. And people don't realize that. They think jiu-jitsu is just grappling and being on your back.
The leg locks.
Bro, I'm never going to armbar somebody in a street fight. I'm never going to do that.
And that was also that guy's basically, who's like, armbar, they're going to take a chunk. I'm like, you don't armbar in a street fight. And then he was like, if you put a triangle on someone, they're going to slam you. Like, you don't triangle someone in a street fight. Like, you may for some reason get in that situation, but it's the aspect that you don't want.
If I get in the situation of an armbar, trust me, I'm gonna break it and pop up real fast.
No one's just going to say, stop fighting me, stop fighting me. No, if you're in a street fight, dude,
bro, I'm gonna kick your face as I break your arm, and then I'm gonna pop up as fast as
he was just like, they're gonna bite your leg. I was like, they can't bite your leg when you're kicking them in the mouth.
Bro, you think I'm just gonna lay my calf right across your face? I'm gonna kick you with my heel.
It was the same thing I talked to my buddy about when he brought it up too. He was just like, I would just bite you. And I was like, you don't think I would? I was like, if I'm fighting you and this is a life or death situation, I have jiu-jitsu to help me, but I'm gonna eye gouge you if I can. I'm gonna try to stick a thumb in your face.
Oh, I'm gonna grab your dick, bro.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna grab.
You think I'm gonna be nice?
I'm not gonna be nice, bro. I'm gonna grab your dick and balls. Bro.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'm gonna make you scream like a girl.
I don't care if you think it's cheap. I don't care, bro. I'm here to win.
I'm going home.
It's like, I want to go home, bro.
Like,
I'm grabbing your balls, bro. I'm gonna squeeze until I feel
me away. When people say this whole street fight thing, I'm like, one, it shows that you've never actually trained in the scenario or with an instructor that trained you for that. If you do sport jiu-jitsu, awesome. I like in our school, it's not just focused on sport. He brings out the aspects of self-defense.
Jiu-jitsu was created as self-defense first. Yes. People think it's sport first. No, self-defense first. And there are things you do in the sport of jiu-jitsu you would never in a million years do.
Sit down. That's why I love the jokes. People are like, oh, jiu-jitsu guys just sit down. I was like, because you don't meet real jiu-jitsu guys. And you're only watching the video of two jiu-jitsu guys. You're watching two guys who know the rules, who know what their game is. But in a real situation, and they say, you see it in a real situation all the time in real life, the guys just don't know how to take someone down. Is that a bad aspect that's happening? But again, ask those guys. Is it just focused on sport jiu-jitsu, where the big thing now is leg locks and stuff? That is their fault. But again, our school's not like that, where they're like, the things everyone preaches is
I'm trying to avoid going to the ground.
Yes.
I'm going to arm drag you, get behind you, and I'm going to choke you unconscious.
Exactly.
And I'm going to stay standing. Funny, dude. I'm going to let you go to the ground.
Man, it's
just so nuts, man.
There's so many things out there that I think... It's the same thing when we talked about the whole traveling thing, like travel the world to get more experience. Bro, if you think something's going to be so simple,
because everybody thinks they're a tough guy.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is the good thing about the UFC is it made martial arts popular again.
Yeah.
The bad thing about the UFC is it made everybody a tough guy. Everybody thinks that because they watch the UFC or they watch any mixed martial arts, they think they know just from watching. It's the same thing like being like, oh, I could throw a baseball. Yeah, but you cannot throw it as efficiently as the guy.
Or as long, as fast, as accurate.
Dude, I could throw a ball straight. I cannot throw the way they throw curveball, screwball,
can you throw
changeup. I can't
throw
do
their
that.
straight ball 98 miles an hour?
Fuck no.
That's what I mean. Like when people see it, and like, it's Tony and I were talking about this. What was it? A few days ago, where it's people have this misconception because that Nate Diaz video popped up again, where he choked the guy out with the Marcelo team.
Yeah.
So. One, and I'm just blown away. Like, who can look at Nate Diaz and be like, I can fight you? You're an idiot. But two,
I thought that guy didn't know who he was.
Is that what it was?
Bro, I don't think people pick fights with fighters like Joe Schillings. He's another guy, another MMA guy, and like the thing is, I think they kind of look like your average everyday guy. And if you're not a UFC enthusiast, if you're a casual, dude, they look like your everyday guy. They look like strong, jacked guys, but everybody thinks they're a tough guy until you run into this guy who's like, oh no, this guy is
like, he's a fighter,
multi-time champion. This guy will fuck you up. And there was that video of that guy with Joe Schilling where he's passing and he tries to like diffuse the situation, but the guy keeps charging out, and Joe Schilling knocks that guy flat out, bro.
Damn.
It was the best video.
But it's like, and that's where I think the issue is like people will see that, and then they also get this misconception, not just that they're a tough guy, but then they'll see like their performance in the UFC. The UFC is like the NFL, right, just like one championship. It's like the NFL for fighters, dude. You made it to the top of the top.
Yeah.
You could be like let's just say 0-20 in the UFC. You're the punching bag for the UFC. That does not mean Joe Schmo on the street will be able to fuck him up because he's 0-20.
No, even listen,
being the punching bag,
even the worst guy in the UFC is gonna annihilate.
He's gonna kill you.
Everybody in the real world, like, you know what I mean? Like this misconception that I love when people like when a fighter's on like a down tick where like they've lost 6 fights in a row and people are like, oh, he's washed up, he's not so tough anymore. I'm like, that guy will still fuck you up.
Like
that guy will kill you.
Look at their ages. Like, I love when I see their ages. Like the guys who retire, they're coming into like 35 to 38, bro. That's and it's
the window
young,
is so tight.
It's young, but that's old for a fighter, dude. You can't because then you have
35 is your old,
bro.
Dude.
Their training camps that they go through, the constant sparring, then they go into the cage to go fight these people, bro. It's a lot that they go through, and then Joe Schmo, who he can't run a quarter mile down the road without dying.
10 push-ups.
But
give me 5 push-ups.
I can fuck him up. He's on a losing streak.
Give me 5 pull-ups. Give me 5 pull-ups.
Dude.
I don't even want a lot. Do 5 pull-ups, then we'll talk if you can.
Good ones too. I want to see all the way down, all the way up.
But these guys have this weird misconception, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a young man's thing. Like maybe is it just this young man gusto when they're
I think it's ego. I don't even think it's young man because I've seen older guys talk shit too. I think it's just ego because they feel like it's their way to prove something and get something that can't challenge them back. Just like how talking on the keyboard, dude.
Yeah.
You're able to say something without having to back it up. And like that's it. You're able to say whatever you want. And then because if I'm talking shit with you and we're talking shit about some guy on TV, are you really gonna be like, oh, let's settle it right now? Yeah. Let's test it, right? You're not going to say that to some random dude. You're not going to be in a bar and be like, "Oh, dude, let's run it right now." Like, no one's going to sit there and be like, "No, let's run this fade." Dude, it's not a thing. So it's just like people just get away with talking so much shit.
That's why I don't believe in letting trolls get away with things. Like trolls that comment on like Instagram and YouTube. I will find you. I'm the Liam Neeson of this place, bro. I will Google your handle. I will find you. I will Google everything I can. I will try to find your fucking ass. I found a troll who commented on YouTube. I found him on Instagram. I DM'd him on Instagram because he didn't have a photo on YouTube. I was like, you fat motherfucker, you talking shit online. Meanwhile, you fat as fuck here with your fat ass wife and your chubbly wobbly kids. Get the fuck out of here, you Teletubby ass family. Oh my God. I'll find your bitch asses. Don't test me, ho.
That's what Mac is the same way, bro. Yo, so I have a tax meeting.
I should be allowed to incinerate you. If you try to troll me, I incinerate you.
We have a tax meeting today. I don't know the guy's last name. I got the recommendation from Tyler. I was like, hey, the guy's name is Seth. That's all I know, though. She goes, I'm going to find him. I was like, how are you going to find him? I just know his first name. Bro, not even 5 minutes later, she was like, I got his Instagram. And she was just like, I found his family too, just because I told her a story, what he was telling me. She was like, oh yeah, and I found his daughters too. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Not even 5 minutes she did it all. Yeah. But dude, it's...
Think about it. You Google Seth tax guy, there's like 10 of them, you go through each one. Oh, Tyler's friends
so
with
that's
this
that's how she found
guy.
it. She was like, I found Tyler, and then from Tyler I found all the Seths that he knew. I went through all their photos. I found the one that had daughters, and then from there I found him. Yeah. And I was like, what? Why?
We will find you.
Man.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, or we're coming for you next.
I think Joe's going to.
I will.
He's going to find you.
Come for your soul and your ass.